What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would give you a rundown of some stay-at-home mom tips because I'm coming up on 3 years of being a stay-at-home mom. Before I was an attorney at a big law firm with the billable hours and everything, so I've really done both and I have a lot of things to share. First of all, I want to tell you that both are really hard and both are really rewarding in totally different ways. So whatever you choose for your life, do what makes you happy, do what you enjoy the most. There's no right or wrong way to be a parent. It's hard and wonderful all at the same time, no matter which way you do it. So you do you, whatever's best for you. For me, I really love being a stay-at-home mom. It was such the right decision for me personally. So if you are a stay-at-home mom or you're looking to become a stay-at-home mom, I put together a list of things to think about, both practical and financial tips of things that we do. So the first thing that I thought about when becoming a stay-at-home mom was, what was it gonna look like between me and my husband with money? Because honestly, for most of our relationship, I made more money than my husband. I graduated law school around 2 years into our relationship and he was working selling mattresses, making like almost minimum wage. And he ended up going back to school and getting his MBA and doing what he does now, which is product marketing. And at that point, when he graduated school, we kind of were like always neck and neck for salary. But obviously, when I left my full-time career and did YouTube very part-time while staying home with my kids, he was making a lot more money than me. So I never wanted to feel like it was his money. I wanted to make sure that our relationship around money wasn't going to change regardless of who was making more money. But that we both felt like we were equally contributing to the household's functioning, and whether one person was in a 9-to-5 or one person was doing childcare and household things, it didn't feel any different around our discussions with money. I didn't want to feel like I was under his control because he was bringing in more money than me, and I wanted to make sure that we really talked that out. And thankfully, my husband is not like that at all. Like, we combined finances as soon as we got married and we share everything and there's no secrets and we are really open about money. Doesn't mean it always goes smoothly, but it's never been like, well, this is my money or this is your money. So as a stay-at-home mom, it can feel a little isolating if you're used to going into an office and, you know, being around people all the time. So if you have the stress of feeling isolated financially on top of that because you don't have a good relationship with your partner around how money's gonna work when you stop bringing in money, then you wanna think long and hard about what's that gonna feel like on a day-to-day basis over a long period of time. All right, my next tip for being a stay-at-home mom is, as you're leaving the workforce, leave on good terms and leave as many doors open as possible. You never know what life is gonna bring, and if you need to return to work at some point, you wanna make that as easy for yourself as possible. As much as I did not like my job, I also wanted to protect my family and protect my kids and know that if I needed to go back to that career, that it was going to be an option for me. So don't burn bridges, you know, leave the right way, be diplomatic as you leave your position, maybe keep in touch with some of your contacts or your network, and make sure that if you need a reference from somebody in the future down the road, that that's a person that you'd still be able to call or email and ask for that reference. The other thing we thought about a lot is the stability of my husband's job. So he had been in his job for a number of years. He had graduated with a specific degree and was working in that degree. He really enjoyed what he was doing and he saw himself doing it for a long time. So if we didn't have all those factors in place, I don't know if I would have felt comfortable leaving my job when I did. So you just want to make sure, to the extent possible, we can never predict these things, but to the extent possible, the working parent's line of work is something that's secure. Be like really proactive about the job security of the working parent, because that's what's really going to help you sleep at night. All right, one thing that has really helped keep my sanity through being a stay-at-home mom is having my own thing, which for me is YouTube. So YouTube is a part-time job for me. I also do Instagram and TikTok, and I sell my spreadsheets on Etsy. So my whole business talking about personal finance on social media has a lot of different outlets, and I really enjoy it. Not only does it keep me connected to people outside of this house where I'm just taking care of my 2 little kids all the time, but it also gives me a creative outlet and an intellectual outlet and a way to bring in money for my family still. So my resume doesn't have a giant gap in it. It just has a pivot from estate planning attorney to personal finance content creator. And so again, in the future, for job security purposes, I'm able to say, like, I kept working, I cut back, but I kept working, and this is what I did, and these are the skills I gained, and this is how it adds to the work that I did in my career before I pivoted to social media. I feel like it keeps doors open for me and just keeps me sane, because if my sole purpose in life was to make sure that the laundry was done and the kids were fed, and I didn't have my own project just for myself outside of taking care of my kids, I think my happiness would have suffered a lot as a stay-at-home mom. So having your own project outside of just taking care of your kids, I feel like has been really important for me. My next tip is something that I feel like a lot of stay-at-home parents don't think about, and that is having life insurance. So I have a couple life insurance policies that total to more than $1 million. They only cost me around $50 a month because they're both term policies. So you can get a lot of life insurance for a little bit of money. And the thing is about being a stay-at-home parent is if you were to pass away, just because you are working for free doesn't mean your spouse could replace all that work for free. So my kids would need to go to full-time daycare. He would probably have to hire someone to help with the meals and the laundry and the cleaning, like all the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, he would have to pay somebody to come in and do. Having life insurance gives me that peace of mind that if the worst were to happen to me, then my husband would be able to still take care of my kids and keep the household running even when I'm gone. I feel like a lot of working parents understand that if your paycheck stops coming in, that's going to impact your family, but they may not think about the fact that a stay-at-home parent, even though they're not bringing in an actual paycheck into the home, the work they're doing has a dollar value. And if you were gone, besides the obvious like emotional impact it would have to your family, there is a huge financial impact as well. I got both of my policies through Policy Genius. You're able to apply through them and they give you quotes from a bunch of different places so you can find the best quote out there, and they streamline the process and make it really simple. I had to get a medical exam and they scheduled it for somebody like the next week after I applied to just come to my house and do my medical exam, and then within a couple weeks from there I was approved and it was all set. So like I said, I have two policies. I went through them both times because I enjoyed the process so much the first time, and after getting my first policy my life had changed a bunch, and so I decided I needed additional insurance, and so I went through them again, and I would highly recommend them. So if you want to check them out, they're linked in the video description. Alright, this is a tip that really everyone should be doing, but I feel like became especially important as a stay-at-home mom, and that is meal planning. Meal planning is something I started when I was a working parent, and it helped save money in the budget, but meal planning as a stay-at-home mom has saved my sanity. Because at the end of the day, when I have no more brain cells left to think about anything, about logistics, about the household, I just pull up my phone, look at what dinner I had planned for the week, for this day of the week, and just start cooking it. And I know that when I did my weekly grocery shopping trip, I got all the ingredients that I needed. I don't need to explain to any parents of young children how difficult it is to go grocery shopping with your children, and so I avoid it at all costs by meal planning. I would probably get a pizza delivered way more if I hadn't meal planned. Every weekend, I plan what meals I'm gonna make for the week. When I do my grocery shopping trip, I get all the ingredients that I'm gonna need for all those meals, and then when I go to make them, I have everything I need. Plus, it avoids food waste and saves you on groceries because you're not getting random ingredients for things that you don't need that are just gonna go bad and you're never gonna use. So meal planning, 100%, like everyone should be doing this, but especially stay-at-home moms, it will save your sanity. All right, I've got a couple more tips. These are more like practical than like financial tips, but one thing I suggest is to try to get outside of the house with your kids every single day. That doesn't necessarily mean outdoors because sometimes the weather doesn't allow it, but we try to like go somewhere every single day. The more you can get out of the house every single day, the more the walls will not close in on you. Because I find when we don't leave the house for like 2 days in a row, just the walls start closing in. And obviously if it's nice outside, the easiest activity is just opening our back door and letting my kids run around in the backyard. That's my favorite thing to do for our outside time. But at the very least, just trying to get some fresh air, getting outside of the house helps you remember that like the world is out there still functioning and you're not just alone in your home and, like I said, with the walls closing in. Okay, the other thing I would suggest is get ready every morning, and like it doesn't have to be like dressed to the nines, but change out of the shirt you slept in. Like maybe do a little hair and makeup. For me, just a little bit of mascara and some concealer like makes me feel like a different person. It makes me feel like I'm just a little bit put together, because if I don't change out of what I slept in and don't put myself together and you're just like in your pajamas all day, I find I get very depressed. Like it's just not a good day when I do that. So change out of your sweatpants into yoga pants. Like do something so you're not just like in what you woke up in the same state you woke up, and it helps you feel so much better throughout the day. And last thing I'd say is you need to have a good relationship with the working parent. in terms of the schedule. And so, like, for example, I am not a morning person. And so if I have to get my kids first thing in the morning and then watch them all day, basically through dinner sometimes, if my husband has to work late, like, it's just such a long day for me, especially because I'm not a morning person and I want that time in the morning to be able to like get ready a little bit. So what we do is my husband gets the kids every single morning. He'll get them when they wake up, he'll feed them breakfast, he'll brush their teeth, and I will have time to like let myself wake up in the morning, maybe do a little work, maybe put myself together like I talked about, like change my clothes, brush my teeth, do my hair, do a little makeup maybe, and then come and see my kids and start the day. And we usually switch off at around 8 a.m. So that still gives him from 8 to 9 to get ready for work for himself, and he works from home, so that's plenty of time for him to do what he needs to do in the morning. But it just gives me that extra like hour and a half from the time my kids wake up till when I have to take over childcare responsibilities to just get in the right mindset for the day and have a little bit of time to breathe before I jump right into it. Plus, my husband likes getting to have that time with the kids before he has to leave them for the whole day, and so it's like one-on-one quality time for him with them, and so it really works out well for both of us. So those are all my tips for being and becoming a stay-at-home mom. I hope you found this helpful. If you like this video and you want me to do like a part 2, there's definitely more things that we've done financially and just like practically to make being a stay-at-home mom work out really well. So if you want to see another video like this, comment below and let me know. As always, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.